Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus once again, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. And we're talking about being coached about how to create the will of God, the will of heaven on earth, and what we might call paradise on earth. In our coaching process, we've covered several areas, beginning with stop lying, careers, education, shelter, and health care. And today, I want to speak about those other things. So far, we talked about survival, things that are essential for survival. But today, we want to talk about those things. We're going to blog them together. Those things that are not necessary for survival, but they meet our wants, our desires. And this has to do with other things that we like to do, like transportation, things like travel from here and there. So we're basically talking about automobiles, the making of automobiles, the making of planes and boats and bicycles and other vehicles that are used for snow and other sports that you might want to engage yourself in. Now we're talking about those who have those dreams and ideas and aspirations of how to engage ourselves and bring those things into being. All of those things will be brought into being by those of you who have the ideas of what's necessary to do it, and those who actually engage their labor in doing it. By doing it, you're doing it to the degree that it can be delivered to the reservoir of services, goods and services, into the magnitude that it is enough for all of us to do it as we want. It's like going to the buffet. We realize that when you first start going to the buffet, you think that you're going to run out of food, so you get all you can. But once you go there several times and you realize that every time you get through and the food that you've thrown away, there's still plenty of food left, then you start running your place over. Now you just start using that which you need for the moment that you need, because it's the best thing that you have discovered that you can possibly do. And so that is what I'm speaking about now, ladies and gentlemen. We got all of our houses built because everybody's working on jobs that they love to work on. We have all of our education process set up so people can be educated to be the best that they want to be at whatever it is they've been given to do. We have the provision of health care that is available and dental care that's available to all of humanity here in America. And so we have put in place that which allows us to not lie, not have to cheat, not have to steal, not have to terrorize and talk about war. We don't have to do anything about creating bombs, because now we have essentially established those basic principles that would allow us to live as though we are in heaven, as though we are in paradise. And we have just set it up in such a way that each of us have been given the opportunity to look at the world as our stage. And from being on the stage, we know what it is that we want to do. So we grab it. We become the character that's being presenting our services here on this here stage, and recognizing that what picture we paint, what story we tell, goes out through all of humanity, goes out through the stratosphere and glory of the Creator that put us here and gave us this opportunity to shine like the stars in the sky, to shine like the sun above. And we have done all of this, ladies and gentlemen, because we learned that the way we were living was nothing but death. And now we know living is really living. And so when we put this together, ladies and gentlemen, there's one more thing I think I would mention here. And that is this. Those of you who say that you know the Creator, there will be times, because of where we come from, when people might want to backslide and get back into that old way of doing things. It is your duty, it is your responsibility to lift up the truth in such a way that it makes the lie look like a fool. And nobody wants to be attached to a lie, because a lie is the beginning of death. And all we want to do is live. And it is your job, it is your duty, it is your responsibility, not necessarily in a building. However, we can go to a building and sing songs that we so desire. We can do all kinds of things to lift up that spirit that we cannot see, can't touch, and can't feel. But the evidence of it is what we have done. The evidence of it is what we feel in our lives, the joy, the excitement, all of the wonderfulness that has now become part of our reality. We recognize that as the God that we give service to, and we love it. We love it. That is your job, those of you who say that you know God. See, some of us are just following the dictates because it leads to the truth that brings out what I've just explained. But it is many of us who know the truth, who are the champions of the truth, who have to pay whatever the ultimate price might be in a challenge that goes against what we speak here of. And it is you who really know that is called upon to be the exhibition of that faith. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think if what I've shared with you to this point should be just enough to get us going to create thy will on earth as it is in heaven, to create the paradise. Now, one other thing I'd like to leave with us here. Today, we recognize all the problems that exist in our society. We talk about them, we put them down every day. But very few of us have any solutions. And those of us who say we have solutions only take us to another step down the abyss. This that I've shared with you today, as far as I know, has never humanly been tried. It's been spoken of and perhaps put in movies, but it has never been tried in reality. And so the challenge today is for us, based upon what we desire for ourselves, that we change our path, that we get on a different route, and that we engage ourselves in this process rather than just depending on others to do what we think needs to be done while we lollygag around. No, my friends, the door has been opened for you to indulge, to engage yourself in that which you love engaging yourself in. You never had that opportunity before, that you know of. Now you do. All of society is depending upon you, whether it's digging ditches, planting flowers, whether it's flushing toilets or building toilets, or whether it's skiing on mountaintops. The stories that we will write for the future is all in our hands, and we are being called upon to choose our path and to give it the best that we got. And having done that, we will recognize that the heaven that we hoped for a long time ago is the heaven that we experience today. Not because we expect someone else to give it to us, but because we wanted it so bad, we were willing to commit ourselves and play a part in the creative process, and now we have done it. So I challenge all of you who have listened to me doing this coaching, let us get busy and see the mighty works that can come from a spirit through each of us, and how magnificent it can be. Thank you so very much. Once again, Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate for paradise on earth. Bye-bye.